Most AI agencies I've seen charge anywhere between $500 and $2,000 for a one-time setup. They build some kind of AI automation or chatbot or custom-made project, hand it off to their developer, and eventually hand it off to their client, collect the money, and then move on. And that's the reason why most AI agencies are stuck anywhere between $0 and $5,000 a month. Because how could you scale if you're just constantly hunting for new clients just to stay at the same revenue? So I charge around $4 to $5K a month recurring from each individual client. And in this video today, I'm going to show you exactly how I go about onboarding these clients and, more importantly, fulfilling so they could be worth around $4,000 to $5,000 a month for you. I'm going to go over the model, what to do after they agree to move forward with you, how to set up the service for success, how to charge so you actually make $4,000 to $5K a month per client, and more importantly, how you can leverage this to do it yourself. I'm going to go through my full screen recording, nothing hidden, no crazy gatekeeping or anything, just raw value. I want to show you exactly what happens after a local business agrees to move forward with you, because the truth is it's really hard to get AI agency clients without knowing what to do after they say yes to you on a call. So if you've been selling one-time AI setups or projects or custom builds and wonder how to actually build recurring revenue that grows on a month-to-month basis, then this video is for you. All right, so before I show you the actual screen recording and break down how I go about onboarding and fulfilling for clients, I want to show you what these clients are actually paying $4,000 to $5,000 a month for to me, because it's not just an AI chatbot or some kind of voice agent, because the truth is that that's not very valuable. And honestly, that's the mistake I see most AI agencies make, is that they sell a tool, but I sell an outcome. So here's what my clients actually get. Number one, they get a lead generation infrastructure. Okay, I set up meta ads, even do some Google ads in the back end depending on their business. I build landing pages, I create the ad creatives, I build out the ad campaigns, I optimize the ads for getting a good cost per lead and get them a ton of leads in the door, and I manage the campaigns in total. Now, I do that because it's the most valuable part of the service, getting more leads and more jobs booked on their calendar. And number two is AI powered follow-up, because every single new lead that comes in on ads, we can use an AI voice agent or an AI chatting bot to contact that lead and turn it into a booked job immediately. 90% of these contractors are always busy on the job, or they don't have a team built out. And so what we can do is use AI to basically decrease the speed to lead that we have for our client and basically get them way more booked jobs. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of jobs that a local business owner will lose just because of slow follow-up. And the third thing that I do for them is full CRM management. Okay, so I built out this entire GoHighLevel account with pipelines and automations and follow-ups and reporting and Google review campaigns and SEO optimization. So basically, when someone pays me around $4,000 to $5,000 a month, they aren't paying for just software or some little tool that they can implement for convenience inside of their business. They're paying for an entire full-fledged marketing suite to basically get them more jobs on demand and have a scalable system to getting more leads. That's the difference. And that's also the reason why they stay for 12, 18, 24 months instead of just churning after 30 to 60 days like you see with most agency owners, or even just like having a low one-time setup fee for some service and then never paying you ever again. Now, I want to quickly just break down how I actually get this set up, and more importantly, like how I go about going from being on a call and then being like, okay, cool, this sounds great, let's go with your services, to actually having them become a paying client of mine. This right here is my client onboarding SOP. And this document is basically just a breakdown of how I go about onboarding clients. And more importantly, like what I do from the call when they go and agree with my services and pay me that first initial fee, which by the way, we'll break down the pricing structure later in this video. And this is what we do in the meantime to turn them into a paying client and set them up for success. Because the truth is that there's a lot of setup here and there's a lot of things that go into this, because obviously we're not just giving them an AI chatbot, we're giving them an entire full-fledged marketing suite. And that's the reason why I'm able to charge so much. So first things first, before the actual onboarding call, which by the way, we would have booked on the original sales call, we go ahead and send them a success form. So this success form is very important because we can actually get a grasp and understand why clients bought from us, which believe it or not is something that nobody tracks and nobody takes care of. But if you can understand why someone bought from you, you can lean more into that and use that on future calls and other future selling points and even paid advertising. And when you do that, you can get way more clients, get way more referrals, and ultimately make way more money solely because you understood why they bought from you in the first place. So basically on that success page, including on that form, there is an onboarding form that has information about their business. Here's an exact example of what that might look like. This is the one that I use. So basically you can have, area codes that they want the ads to run in, preferred email addresses that they want to receive lead notifications, the business email that they communicate with, images so that we can have more ideas for what to use in the creatives and the actual ads because we are running paid ads for them. We have, the working hours, their street address, all that stuff. whether they've not like booked an onboarding call with me or not, which likely they had if they're seeing this, and just an onboarding form to get them going and get them also built out internally in our system as well. So as soon as this gets completed, we get a notification. We know to start and initiate this process, which first starts with creating a Slack channel. So Slack is an amazing communication tool, and honestly, you can just text your client if you only have a couple. But I like to use Slack because it's a central hub for all of my clients. Basically, what I do is add them into a Slack channel and go ahead and send an introduction message, which basically has what they need to become successful with us. And this largely depends on what you offer specifically, right? So you want to tailor it to your specific service. If you're not offering ads and AI like my business, it's still important to just maintain communication and also like have proper expectation setting throughout this process, because communication is one of those things that like if you don't nail this and you were an agency owner, you will likely lose a lot of clients. So communication is very, very important to prevent churn. And if you can nail it by communicating them with very frequently, like honestly, once a day should be your KPI for communication with your client, especially right after you sign them. But yeah, basically, we create a Slack channel so we can communicate with them. Super simple. We also give them some free resources, access to the GoHighLevel. Now, this is dependent on obviously what you offer, but for some of my clients that don't have sales processes built out, some of them have sales processes built out and all this stuff. You know, they have their own CRMs, they have their own sales teams. These roofing companies can get pretty big, but if they're a smaller company, then they can actually use our platform, GoHighLevel, and basically just, you know, use our automations and use our phone numbers and use our calling systems and our scripts and stuff, and they'll be successful enough with that to justify paying me the amount that they do. Now, I will say working with bigger companies will always make you more money. You can scale up the ad spend because yes, it sounds amazing to make a couple $1,000s a month of a client. Like that sounds great. But if you get a whale, a big client that's doing $50 million a year and they just see you as another lead provider that they're paying for because they're probably paying for 10 of them, you can basically just be like, okay, pay per results. Let's scale up your ad spend. Right now we're spending $100 a day in ads. Let's spend $300 a day in ads. Before you know it, this one client was worth $10,000 a month for you. And that is the like insane scalability of this model. And I'll explain more on like how that payment structure actually works, because we do a little bit more of like a pay per results focused thing later on in the video. So basically, this is the onboarding call framework. Now, what we do is we basically understand why they decided to join us and pay us money, as well as some quick housekeeping tasks and things, and setting expectations for the next 90 days. So important. We go ahead and create an ICP, which is basically like who they are, so we can basically find and target more people just like them. So we write down all this information, get it from them on the call, and this is usually an onboarding style call, which is like a sit down call. We explain again the pathway to achieve their goals, and something I don't think a lot of people realize is that when you sign some kind of client, whether it's an AI agent client, whether it's an ads and AI agency client, like whatever it is, you understand that you're always selling to them, okay? It's not like you close them and then they're sold and they're forever good. The way that this relationship actually works between you and your client is typically more of one at a time relationship. Like you're constantly selling to them over and over again. Every single touch point that you have with them, you are selling them as to why they should choose you. Otherwise, eventually they're just going to leave you. So it's very important to understand this. We go ahead and explain to them once again how we actually go about the process. Then we sign an agreement. So a great agreement example that I have right here that you can go ahead and take is just like this. Now, this right here is a great service agreement. Everything in red obviously needs to be changed. But more importantly, we go over the compensation structure. You can optionally have a performance guarantee, but I recommend honestly not having one because it just like conveys that you're less confident about your stuff. It sounds kind of counterintuitive there, but like if you're on a sales call with a company and you're like, oh, if you don't get X result, then you'll get your money back. It's like, wait, but I don't want to not get the result. You know, I want to get the result. So why are you even mentioning that? You know, so it's a little bit of one of those things, as well as an exit interview fee. If they actually like just leave you without saying a word, you get the right to charge them. The schedule A, so the scope of the services. Here's a good agreement that you can follow. You want to get that signed on this onboarding call. And then it's all about setting up their ads manager. Now, this is a good step-by-step tutorial on how to actually do that. But honestly, like, because meta ads are by far the best. Like if you run meta ads for your clients, they'll get so many leads and make so much money and be so successful with you. You can honestly run these on your own page. You could even create your own page called like area roofing and basically just run ads off of that page. So you don't actually have to use their brand unless they want to, which can basically simplify all of this process and not have you go through and need to request access and get granted as an admin or a partner or whatever. And it makes it a little bit simpler. But if you decide to sign a client that wants their own branding and their ads, you know, and their logos and all that stuff, and you don't want to create a page for them, then you can basically just use this step 4 here, just like so. Now, once that's done, you can go ahead and get them into the CRM and get them into GoHighLevel. And I will show you a little bit of a setup on GoHighLevel, how we use that today. It's basically a software that we could use to use automations and basically follow up with leads, and more importantly, get those leads into book jobs. Because I also show the structure of the ads manager in this video as well, but we want to make sure that these guys are successful. Like that's the most important of thing. Okay. Like, I don't care how many, clients you have and all this stuff. It's just like, how many jobs are these guys actually benefiting from your services, and how are you actually helping them, right? That at the end of the day is like the North Star. If you can make these guys a ton of money, they'll pay you a ton of money. And that's always the goal. So just like that, we will go ahead and then book the launch call, just like so, and then set communication expectations. And then you'll have a launch call, which is basically a call to explain the process and actually just give them examples of like, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get a lead on this phone number right here. You're going to get a lead that gets a notification. You're going to get a lead in your Gmail as well. And basically from there, you'll have a different process depending on what type of company it is. A lot of them have their own sales processes, so they just forward the leads to their CRM, and that's amazing. But once that's done and everything is done in this call, you can go ahead and get them set up on the back end, which is the fulfillment part of this video. So let's jump into that and see how that looks. Now, the first thing I want to show you here is one ad that has spent $12,000 in its lifetime and generated one of my clients over 328 leads. Now, this is super valuable, super rare. I've never even seen someone show something like this, at least not this much spend in one singular ad. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what that ad actually looks like.
Savannah, Georgia neighbors. These homeowners saved $3,000 on a new roof for one simple reason: fair pricing. Because here's the truth. When you get a few quotes for a roof replacement, you're bound to get quotes that are all over the place. Why? Often it's because these companies are lugging around a ton of overhead, and the person who foots the bill is you, the homeowner. But we do it different. We have helped hundreds of families here near Savannah area save thousands of dollars through our transparent and fair pricing. Plus, since we're a well-run small company, we don't have unnecessary overhead costs, unlike those big companies passing on their expenses to you. Get the best work, best materials at fair prices. Click Learn More below for a fast quote.
That ad alone right there has literally spent $12,000. Like, it's been extremely profitable for my clients, got them like 400 leads. And this is the exact ad setup and strategy that we use. Now, the way you want to set up these campaigns nowadays, it really doesn't matter because of all the new meta updates, but you just want to test more creatives. Okay. So whatever you could do to just throw creatives in the winning area. And if you do have winning creatives, you'll get tons of leads for your clients. We have it set up with a pixel here, as well as a simple lead form that allows them to basically just like go and fill out their information. That looks just like this, just like so, with basic questions. And then after that, a secure now, which basically allows them to book in a estimate on the calendar, directly on the calendar. And the way we actually do that is through a GoHighLevel automation. So making these ads is super, super simple. Like, I usually go to Sora or go to some B-roll or Canva or something and just get B-roll just like so. Use submagic.co to actually create the captions, and then use 11 Labs, the voice, to basically go through with that, combine them all in CapCut. There you go. You have a winning ad that is literally spent $12,000 in ad spend, which is absolutely insane. And that's how you know it's a really successful and winning ad. And you want to make multiple ads like that. And the tight iteration flow is like, you basically find a winning ad that works, make more ads that are just like it. And before you know it, you'll have a winning ad library full of winning ads. And then you are pretty much good to go. And you can get tons of leads for your clients and basically send them off to your clients by using GoHighLevel. GoHighLevel connects the lead form that I just showed you into its system, creates the new lead as an opportunity, as you could see here, and then basically gives the client an internal notification that they've gotten a new lead, and also giving the owner the new lead information. Now, it also has the information about like the lead, about more specifically like what they said in the form, also a direct link to actually contact that lead. And this integrates really well with whatever system that they're running, right? If they're a bigger company, which is obviously who you want to target, and then you will make more money off of them because of the pay-per-result offer that we run. But more importantly, they'll integrate with their own sales system. They already have sales teams. They already have people to call their leads immediately, and it's not the owner just kind of doing it randomly. Like, it's very important that you work with companies that have those systems built out, because if we can position ourselves as a lead provider and not the end all be all saving force of their entire business, then they'll pay us for tons of time, like literally years on years, because we're just getting them constant new leads every single day. So those ads right there, by the way, got like a $36 cost per lead, and they're spending like $80 a day in ads. That's almost 2 to 3 leads every single day. And now, how is it possible for them to be paying me anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000 a month? Let me break that down and show you the actual pricing model behind it. So the way that this is actually working is pay per lead. Now, it's pay per lead because obviously, if you look at the biggest companies in the space that are all making a ton of money off of something similar to what we're doing, which is basically offering, ads and AI to local businesses, we think of Angie Leads or Home Advisor or these companies. It's like, why can't we just copy what's already working? So how this actually looks is we could charge anywhere between $40 and $100 per every single lead that we get them, depending on whether or not you're paying ad spend or they're paying ad spend. You can always charge, $1.5K upfront, $1.5 to $3K upfront, to basically get commitment from them if they're paying ad spend, and then maybe like start off with a good $60 to $70 a day in ad spend, just like that. And basically $40 to around $60 per lead. Or if you want to cover the ad spend on their end, which means that like you front all the risk, so it's so easy to sign clients. I mean, I have a 16-year-old client of mine named Ethan that literally signs like a client to 3 clients every single day because he fronts the ad spend, is still profitable around 50% on the leads, and charges just a higher amount per lead. And then that way there's no need to onboard and do all this fancy stuff because he filters his clients, not his clients filter him. So it gives him the authority in the situation, allows him to scale insanely fast. And honestly, I think he's set to do 30K next month. So this right there is probably the best strategy, in my opinion, nowadays to just make the most amount of money per client. Now, I've literally had a client of mine that's paid me like $50,000 to me. So not even to the ads. He spent like 30K on the ads, 50K to me. So it's like 80K total on my services that has literally brought them so many jobs, like literally a ridiculous amount of jobs over the last 2 years. And because I'm able to keep clients for that long shows why this is the best thing to possibly offer consistently for a long period of time. I mean, companies like that would not be still going with me if they weren't profitable from my services directly. So if you're able to charge anywhere between $40 and $100 per lead that you generate them, collect their card on file on that initial onboarding call, and generate them a ton of leads using Meta, maybe have some kind of AI backend with GoHighLevel, just like this automation here, or also with an AI agent, a conversation AI agent in GoHighLevel as well. That right there is going to be the best bang for your buck and the best service to offer. And more importantly, you'll get the most amount of revenue and profit on a month-to-month basis from each individual client. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value in this video. If you have any questions, there is a 11-hour free video that's a course that's on my YouTube channel. It's the one that's pinned in the description or whatever. If you want to check that out and you want more details on how I get clients, more specifically on how I fulfill for them and the granular level and all the settings and everything, you can always check that out. I know people have found a ton of value in it, but there's already been like 12,000 people that have watched it. So if you want to check that out, feel free to, and I'll see you in the next one. So have a good day.